Hello, welcome back everyone. This is UNIONE Global Discovery Series. Today's topic is understanding export documents in Korean cosmetic trade. In global trade, documentation is not just paperwork. Documentation shows whether a transaction is real, structured, and ready to move. Without proper documents, products may not move across borders smoothly. Without proper documents, customs clearance becomes uncertain. Without proper documents, distribution becomes unstable. In Korea, cosmetic export, several key documents are commonly required. For example, CFS, which means Certificate of Free Sales, CO, which means Certificate of Origin, and LOA, which means Letter of Authorization, Commercial Invoice, and Packing List. Document has a different role. Each document confirms a different part of the transaction structure. And each document helps reduce the risk. Okay, CFS first, the Certificate of Free Sales, as you can see here, CFS. This is the example of what UNIONE Global has done so far. This is one of those examples. Okay. This document confirms that the product is freely sold in Korea under the Korean regulatory system. In practical, it shows that the product already has a legitimate sales basis in the Korean market. It usually includes key information such as the product name, the manufacturer, the responsible seller in Korea, the export destination country, and the date of issue. I hope you guys can see this example clearly. And its purpose is not to grant sales authority. Its purpose is to confirm that product already exists within a proper Korean regulatory and distribution structure. For the importer, this becomes an important supporting document. It helps show that the product is not outside the Korean market system, but is already being sold under Korea's regulatory framework. This is why CFS is often one of the key supporting documents in cosmetic export practice. And next, you can see here the example on the screen. Second, CO, the Certificate of Origin. This document confirms the country of origin of the goods. That is important for customs procedures, trade documentation, tariff-related review, and buyer confidence. In many cases, origin is not just a technical detail, it affects how the shipment is reviewed and how the goods are recognized in the importing country. So, CO is a very practical document in export execution. It helps clarify where the goods come from in formal trade terms. Okay, next one. As you can see here, LOA. LOA, the Letter of Authorization. In practice, this document usually identifies the importers by company name and official address, and states that the Korean responsible party authorizes that importer to handle the product in the target market for a specified period. So the role of LOA is not simply to describe the supply chain in general. It is a document that gives written authorization from the Korean side to a specifically identified importer. This becomes important here, letter of authorizations. This becomes important when the importer requires formal written authorization from the Korean side for sales, distribution, product handling, or related regulatory procedures in the target market. At this stage, UNIONE Global plays a key operational role. We coordinate with the supplier, request the required documents management, the communication in detail, and oversee the full process needed to complete the document properly. When required, we also manage the process through authorization and consular authentication. As you can see here, consular authentication. It requires precision, coordination, and practical experience. And I'm going to show you the commercial invoice. This is what we did before. Fourth, the commercial invoice. This document defines the transaction, value, and the commercial side of the shipment. It shows who is selling and who is buying here, consigning, what is being shipped. Here you can see and how much the transaction is worth. You can see here, this is one of the core documents that gives commercial clarifying to the shipment. Without a clear invoice, there is no stable commercial basis for the transaction. So, the commercial invoice is not just for accounting. It is part of formal transaction structure in international trade. And next, I will show you packing list. Packing list. This document defines the shipment structure. It shows how the cargo is actually packed, including details such as carton, quantity, see here, unit quantity, weight, and packing composition. This is very practical in real export operations. Freight handling, customs review, warehouse receiving, and the importer side checking all depend on accurate packing information. Even if the products and invoice are correct on the packing information, can still create delays, confusion, and unnecessary risk. That is why the packing list is essential execution document. Export documents are not barriers. Export documents are protection. They protect manufacturers and protect importers and protect brand value and also protect long-term cooperations. When both sides understand the documentation structure clearly, uncertainty becomes lower. When uncertainty becomes lower, friction becomes lower. And when friction becomes lower, continuity becomes stronger. Thank you one more time. Bye-bye.